Yep, just like I remember. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's we're going to be reviewing a 2023 Subaru Impreza to discuss whether you should get an Impreza now or should you wait for the 2024. Before we get in this video though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Nate Wade Subaru here in Salt Lake City, Utah for giving me some time with this Impreza. This one is available for sale for the time being, so if you're interested, I'll include a link to their inventory in the description down below. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money, the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 2-liter flat 4-cylinder that goes through a CVT. Fuel economy is 28 around town and then 36 on the highway, with power outputs being 152 horsepower and then 145 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood itself, you guys can see distinctive lines there on either side. I think it looks great. We've got halogen bulbs for the lights just down below, and then you guys can see we've got the little turbine looking thing where the fog lights would go on a more upgraded Impreza. And then you got chrome around the Subaru logo. And you know what? I really like the front end of the Impreza. I think it looks cool. Come around the side here, tire wheel setup is 205, 55, 16 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see with the design, it looks pretty good for a more baseline car. I like the cut there on the fender. It's kind of hidden though with the black paint. And then you can see the mirror caps here. Notice the window trim also dark. And so taking a look at the full side view here, I actually think it looks really good for an economy car. Yep, we got one of these key fobs here. You guys can see we've got our unlock function, lock function in the opening here for the trunk. And speaking of trunk, this is one of the big benefits of the Impreza, is it has a very spacious cargo area. Again, it's not a huge sedan, but it's got a lot of space. And then when you're all done, just plop, you guys can see the Subaru logo there. Notice Impreza there on the other side. And then the taillights here actually look pretty sweet. Look at that dinky little exhaust tip. And finishing it up, you know, I think that Subaru did a good job with the styling on the Impreza. Now, popping inside, we actually have some like cloth trim and some padding here for your arm, and then we got the carbon fiber print there as well. And then here are these seats you guys can see with the cloth trim that goes all down the center. Legroom here in the back is actually really good. And then headroom's good too. Now, taking a look at the door panel here at the front, you guys can see again with the cloth trim and then the padding down below. All of our window controls, front two are actually automatic, your mirror adjustments, and then again with that carbon fiber print. And then here's the front seats. I really like this mesh here in the center. I think that looks really cool. And then the seats are manually adjustable. And then just a quick thing here, we got the stability control button. Steering wheel is manually adjustable. And also, almost forgot, trunk release, gas cap release. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, pretty basic with the material use, but not with the functionality. We've got lane departure here. You guys can see adaptive cruise control. We've got some controls for the center stack, volume controls, phone controls as well. Almost forgot, turn signal light stock, windshield wiper stock, and with the gauge cluster, you guys can see mostly analog. We do have that screen there in the center, which we can use to scroll through some different bits of info on the car. Pretty standard stuff. We've got the famous Subaru Impreza gauge here at the top. You guys can see the time, our average miles per hour, and then also the temperature outside. And then in reverse, we actually do get a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. As for the rest of the infotainment system, it's Subaru's normal infotainment system. It's just a smaller unit. I will say the plastic wrapping does make it a little bit difficult to use, but obviously you take that off and then it's fine. And then you guys can see the analog controls at the bottom. Single zone climate controls, as you can see. And then we've got little charging port area, some storage space, and then here is our shifter for that CVT, and got the L mode if you're going down like a steep grade. Got a parking brake. I like the blank switch area here. Anyways, nice padding here on the center console, I'd say. So myself, decent storage space, got some cup holder action, and then look at like the stitching here on the dash and the padding, and then you guys can see the carbon fiber print, and that actually connects to the door panel. That's cool. That's really cool. Anyways, glove box. We do have a manual mirror dimmer here at the top, and then we actually have our, well, it's kind of hard to see, lane departure there with our collision assistance. So here's our window sticker. You guys can see 2023 Impreza, and here's all of the standard equipment, base MSRP, and then after all options, $22,115. Let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before you set off. Here's your visibility of the hood, both of the mirrors, throughout the rest of the rear. And Impreza away. If you guys have been following the channel for a very long time, you will know that a Subaru Impreza was the first brand new car that I ever had. Now, I didn't own it technically because I did a lease on it, but still, first brand new car that, you know, I was driving around for. Gosh, how many miles did I put on that car? I can't even remember, to be honest. I think maybe 10,000. I'd have to go look back at the videos, to be honest. I can't remember. But what I will say is I think it was like probably the best possible first new car that anyone could ever have. Now, it wasn't the first car that I owned. I had a couple cars before that. The reason I went with the Impreza is because, well, the affordability aspect, again, $22,000. Like back when I got mine, it was less than $20,000. But again, even in today's world, $22,000, all-wheel drive, like super reliable car. You can't really ask for more from a brand new car. I don't really think there's truly anything else on the market that has as much as the Impreza has at the price point, because everything else that's in this, you know, price range is usually a little bit smaller, and then also typically front wheel drive, not all wheel drive. So I think there's a lot to love about it. And speaking of driving, this thing drives really well. The suspension's very comfortable. It doesn't feel quite as like economy as a lot of other cars in the segment. Like, this feels more on the luxury side of things. Similar to what Honda's doing, like with the new Civic. But again, the Civic, more expensive than the Impreza by quite a substantial margin. I think like a base model Civic now is like $25,000, and front wheel drive, right? So like, there's just a lot to love about this when it comes to the features and everything. Gotta see where this little Chevy's going. Yep, that was a good call for my end. But good torque, actually. Good torque with this. Yeah, I mean, this isn't like the fastest car on the planet. That was just partial throttle, by the way. But I mean, it moves. It gets up and moves. Get our full-blown acceleration here, though. See what it's like with full power. Woo! Yep, just like I remember. Again, it's not the fastest car on the planet, but it moves. You do have to dive into the throttle a little bit more. But again, every single car in the segment's like that. So it's not like the Impreza's not doing something that the others are doing. It's right in line with where it needs to be. Yeah, I forgot how well this thing drives. This is just such a good car. Like, I really don't have anything bad to say about it. Like, if this was $10,000 more, then I'd be like, oh, okay, here's the deal. But like, at $22,000, like, please tell me what is wrong with a car that's this affordable. I mean, okay, let me think of another car this price point. Mitsubishi Mirage. That thing is, well, it's a Mitsubishi, so like, do I need to say any more? But like, aside from that, that thing has a beam suspension, smaller interior, front wheel drive, Nissan Versa. That's another one that would be in this price range. Same thing, front wheel drive, smaller interior. It's a Nissan, right? So again, I honestly don't think that there's like a better option. I think there's a reason why Subaru Imprezas are pretty much sold out. This one happens to not be sold, but like, go to a Subaru dealership, try to find an Impreza. They're hard to find. So let me know what you guys think about the 23 Impreza. And I guess answering the question of should you wait for the 24, I think it depends. I think that if you're looking for like affordable, like solid transportation, then there's no point in waiting because the 24 is going to be more expensive. But if you are, you know, wanting some of the stuff the 24 has, like the new look, and especially if you're going for like the, you know, hatchback version, then yeah, it's probably worth waiting for. But yeah, if you're just looking for like this version, like the sedan, then yeah, no, I don't see the point in waiting.